Now, in the previous class, I just used for a second a term called virus. Now, virus, as I told you, is a organism which has both living and non-living characteristics, and that's why it is placed in between. Neither it is fully living nor it is fully non-living. So that's why it is called as a missing link between living and non-living, because it has both the characteristics of living and non-living substances. So viruses are extremely small, microscopic. They can be seen under a very powerful electron microscope, and viruses are made up of nucleic acids and protein. Now they are made up of nucleic acids and protein. Now these nucleic acids are again of two types, that is RNA and DNA. Now RNA is ribonucleic acid, DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid. Now viruses, they are made up of this RNA and proteins. So, and they do not live freely in nature, they live inside cells. They take over the metabolism of the host cell. As I told you, viruses cannot survive in the air, in water, or in food, or in soil. They cannot survive alone. They require a medium in which they can grow, they can multiply, and they become dangerous. So similarly, as it is said, now for the best chronic example today we can discuss about virus is about COVID-19, which is a virus which has shaken the entire world, and the entire world is suffering from this COVID-19, which is a deadly virus, whose structure is still a mystery, whose incubation period is still a mystery. Medicines are only experimental, and cure is very unpredictable. So we can say that the mysterious thing that we are today tolerating is virus. Now, so virus, as it is said that the COVID-19 virus is the COVID-19 virus can be on anything. It can be on your table, it can be on your clothes, it can be anywhere. So what happens is, how does this virus start developing? Unless and until it enters into your internal body. And the entry passages of viruses, most commonly your nose, your mouth, your ears. And that's the reason, in order to avoid the entry of this virus into your body, we are set to use mask, isn't it? We are set to follow social distancing. Person to person distance should be nearly 2 meters, and we are set to keep washing our hands, because we are told we have the habit of keeping our hands on our eyes, rubbing our eyes, putting it in our mouth, in our nose, into our ears. So virus can be on my hands and it can enter into my body through these passages. And once this virus will enter into my body, it will start multiplying at a very fast rate. Just as the population of India keeps increasing day by day, similarly the viruses are multiplying in our body on a very tremendous account, which cannot be controlled. Then next, these viruses are highly specific. Highly specific means COVID-19 will specifically attack a particular organ. Like COVID, you had COVID 2002, that is SARS. SARS is also a COVID vaccine. Why do we call any COVID virus? Why do we call any virus as COVID? Do you know it? Why it is called as, why coronavirus is called as COVID-19? Because these are the viruses which were studied for the first time. You don't have any data of this virus beforehand. You didn't study about this virus previously. Anything you are studying new. Okay, so that's why this term is given as COVID-19. Why? Because we have come across this virus in 2019. That's why it is 19. And COVID is the term used for such a thing which we are dealing it for the first time, whose general information we are not having. Then next is coronaviruses are COVID viruses, and these viruses, they are being studied for the first time. In 2002 we came across SARS, and now in 19 we are coming across coronavirus. Now, these viruses, as I told you, they are very specific. Like rabies is also caused by virus, which is very specific. It is caused by a dog's bite. That means the virus is harboring in the dog. Through dog's saliva, it enters into our bloodstream and it causes rabies. It does not means it is not completely affecting the dog. In later stages, it affects the dog, but the rabies vaccine, which is the rabies virus, which is in the dog, that is transmitted to humans when the dog bites you, when it bites and takes out, makes a hole in your body through which the virus is punctured in your bloodstream. Then you get rabies. Similarly, coronavirus, it is, or SARS virus, they are actually causing disease in a particular organ, that is the pulmonary system. Breathing problem. Why people who are suffering from coronavirus, they are put on ventilators? Why? Because their oxygen capacity, the natural oxygen that we get through our blood, hemoglobin, what it does, it provides oxygen into our blood and oxygen to the brain. And if we are not getting oxygen, then we cannot die. So in that case, what happens is this coronavirus, it reduces the oxygen potential in our body. The capacity of oxygen in our body becomes very, very less, and due to that, what happens, people cannot breathe, they have breathing problems. So in the lungs, the alveoli is actually infected. That is, in these things you will be learning in the later chapters of respiration. Then I will deal it in detail. But now you come to know that this virus, coronavirus, it actually infects the pulmonary system. That is enough for now. So viruses are specific. Common viral disease. Now, features which support them as living and features which support them as they are non-living. Under living, they reproduce. They multiply at a very, very fast rate. Reproduction is a phenomenon, living phenomenon. Then next is, they enter into a host body and then they start their life cycle. Then they start multiplying. So this is also a living characteristic. Non-living characteristic, they do not multiply themselves. If the coronavirus is on this table, it is in your book, it is on this paper, it will never multiply. Until and unless it enters into your body. So this is a non-living character. That means if coronavirus is on the table, it has to die. There is no chance of its survival. Similarly, they can crystallize. They can be crystallized. Crystallize means you can make coronavirus into a crystal form, just like sugar or salt. Yes. How is salt made? When the water is dried, you see that the salt gets separated from water. Water vaporizes and the remaining thing is salt. Similarly, sugar. When sugarcane juice is boiled and when it is concentrated, then you get, and dried, then you get sugar crystal. Similarly, coronavirus can be transformed into crystalline form, just as sugar and salt. Common viral diseases, hepatitis, that is AIDS or HIV. What is HIV? That is human immunodeficiency virus. The virus which causes AIDS, that is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. People are saying that those people are very vulnerable who have very less immunity power. Immunity means the power to resist a disease. Many germs are entering into our body every day. I am opening my mouth and talking, germs are entering into my mouth, they are entering into my body. That means every now and then I should be on the bed, but I am not. Why? Because germs are entering and there is a counter attack in my body. Just like if Chinese are entering into our country, our Indian army is fighting with them and they are driving them out. Similarly, if these viruses are entering into my body, that means there is an army in my body also which fights with these intruders. Intruder is one which is entering into my body. So inside my body I am having certain things which can fight against these that are called as the WBCs, the white blood corpuscles, which provide immunity to our body. So every now and then there is a combat in your body where there is a fight between the pathogens and the antibodies. They just fight and the one who is winner, their symptoms will be there. I am healthy because all the pathogens are killed. I am sick if the pathogens win the battle, then I am sick and that symptom will come out. Similarly, transmission of AIDS, that is HIV. So in AIDS what happens, this particular virus HIV kills the immunity of the body. It makes the immunity of our body very weak and you are susceptible to any disease. AIDS is not a particular disease, but a person who has been infected by HIV, he can suffer from cancer and die. He can suffer from pneumonia and he can die. He can even suffer by a normal dysentery and also he can die. Why? Because in his body, if any bacteria, virus, any disease is entering and the body is unable to fight against the disease, then what will happen? You will be sick and you will be sick to such an extent that you will get into coma and you will die. So that particular condition is HIV. That condition is brought about by HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus. But how is AIDS spreading from one person to another person? Is it spreading by spitting on him? No. Coronavirus will occur surely. So here transmission of AIDS is through sexual intercourse, that is by sexual mating, having sex between a person who is infected with HIV and a person who is not infected with HIV. A normal person, if he has sex with a HIV person, then he will have AIDS. Homosexual intercourse, and that is homosexuals means male having sex, female having sex, and in that case also one is infected, one is normal, so the normal will get infected. Contaminated blood transfusion. What is blood transfusion? Like for example, I have undergone a surgery and during surgery I had a lot of loss of blood. Now I require blood. So my blood group should match with the donor's blood group, and if it is matches, then I take blood from somebody else. I am not drinking blood as vampire, but the blood is infused through veins, right? So that is called as blood transfusion. So when blood transfusion is done, just like saline is entering into your body, similarly blood is made to enter into your body through a needle. If that needle is infected, that needle is used to an infected person with AIDS and the same needle is pushed into my body, then also I will get AIDS. So this is one condition, that is contaminated blood transfusion. If the needle is contaminated, injection also the same thing. If with that same syringe, the sister has given injection to an HIV patient and the same sister gives injection to me, that means I will also get HIV. That is confirmed. Mother to child. If the mother is having HIV virus, surely it will be transmitted to the fetus and the baby born will be an HIV positive. Injection needles, as I told you before. So this was completely about AIDS. So how can you protect yourself from AIDS? By having protective sex. When you go to the hospital, be very careful, take a syringe with you, disco man, and tell to push you an injection, or even if you are going for a blood transfusion, see to it that the person whose blood is being given to you is not an HIV positive. Then AIDS can be eradicated or prevented. Next is chickenpox. Chickenpox is caused by the virus varicella zoster, and it spreads very, very quickly. It spreads through the fluid which is present in the blister. Now what is chickenpox? Chickenpox is your mata, choti mata, badi mata. Now that badi mata, you have blisters on your body. Blister means that round thing which forms on your body and it is having water in it. That watery liquid, wherever it touches, in your body also, to others' body also, it will cause chickenpox. So that's why for treatment of chickenpox, people go to temples and all, that is orthodox. It is better. Chickenpox is only for 7 to 8 days. So what you have to do is you have to have a very clean bed every day. You have to wear clean clothes, light colored clothes, because it causes a lot of skin rash and irritation, and your body temperature is too much aggravated. So you need to have something which cools your body temperature. So you need to wear light clothes, and you have to always have your beddings very, very clean. That is, pillow covers and your bed covers should be washed daily, and it should be disinfected. And and it should be washed from other people's clothes, separately from other people's clothes. And a person who is suffering from chickenpox should be kept in isolation, not in an isolation ward, but an isolated bed should be there. If you are sleeping with a person who is having chickenpox, next day morning you will also get chickenpox, confirmed. Then for treatment of chickenpox, immunizations are done, vaccination is done, and then hepatitis, it stopped. Hepatitis is also caused by virus. As I told you before, hepatitis infects the liver. Particular specific organ is the liver, and hepatitis is again of 3 types: hepatitis A, B and C. And if you want to get yourself protected from hepatitis, you need to go for a hepatitis vaccination. That's it. Thank you.